Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. My name is LJ and this is NoClutch Garage. Today I'm on my way to the shop. I'm actually using my buddy's shop. He's gonna let me use his lift so that we can get under the car. What I'm doing today is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's something that I don't see often out in YouTube in the DIY world. When people start talking about BMW's xDrive system, people get a little angsty about it because it can be pretty difficult to work on. On top of the fact that xDrive is such a finicky all-wheel drive system, they have definitely come a long way, but people still have that mentality that, you know, if you don't take care of it, it'll pretty much break. And for the most part, that's true. The xDrive system is very sensitive when it comes to the different wheel diameters. At that point, the most that you have to worry about is the transfer case. Being that I've had this car for about 30,000 miles, I thought that it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do all the drivetrain maintenance. So I ordered all the stuff for it. I have the fluid for the front differential, the rear differential, the transfer case, and the transmission. I really hope that with this video I can have somewhat of an order of how things are done. I know the front and the rear diff are gonna be pretty much the same, just, you know, different fluids in each. The transmission fluid is a little different because I have to drop the oil pan and there's a lot more fluid involved. And the transfer case I have actually never done. So that's going to be a little bit interesting for me, and it's going to be a new experience, so hopefully we can both learn as we go. What's up guys, I finally made it to the shop. So I went ahead and put the car up on the lift, and I went ahead and removed the bottom paneling. It's a pain in the ass, and it was going to save me time if I just went ahead and did it. First thing I'm going to tackle is going to be the transmission. Let me give you a better view of that. So this is with everything removed. This is what the transmission pan looks like. So there are going to be these bolts right here that we're going to have to take off later. But first we're going to have to drain the transmission fluid that's going to be coming out of there. Let's go ahead and drain it, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So I'm going to bring this over, and now let's undo this thing. Look at this, guys. Old oil pan, just filthy. That's at 50,000 miles. If you're over 50,000 miles and you don't think you need transmission fluid change, I think it's pretty safe to say you do. I dropped the pan because I didn't pay attention, so now there's oil everywhere and I've got to clean it up. Alright guys, here's the new pan, brand new. It also comes with the bolts, and it's already got the gasket integrated into it, so we don't need to do anything, just kind of bolt it on and refill it with transmission fluid. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill the transmission back up with oil. Alright guys, I filled the transmission with fluid until it started overflowing. There are two parts to filling the transmission. There is actually a sticker on the side of the oil pan. It says right here, oil filling temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, and 104 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. You're gonna fill it first until it starts overflowing. And once it starts overflowing, you're gonna put the drain plug back in and tighten it up. Next thing you want to do is lower the car to the ground. You're going to turn it on and you're going to put it in drive. And with your foot on the brake, just go through all the gears, first through 8. Basically, what that's going to be doing is going to be recirculating the fluid throughout the transmission. And that's why it's basically a 2-step process, because you have to let the fluid get through the transmission. And then you come back, take the fill plug back out and refill it until it starts overflowing again. As far as I know, that's complete. And now I'm moving on to the rear differential. I will have all the fluids that you need listed in the description. So the rear differential has a plug, and it's a pretty big plug. It's 14 millimeter, and I used a torque wrench. The rear differential fluid is rated GL4. So I'm using the same pump that I use for the transmission fluid. And we're just gonna go ahead and drain it. Guys, look at how disgusting this fluid is. This is crazy coming out of the rear differential. Look at that. That's insane. Once you have completely drained the differential, it's time to fill it back up. It's about 900 milliliters, so about a quart. And then you're gonna refill it with MT85 Redline, and that's a GL4 spec differential fluid. It is very important that you don't use GL5 on the back. If anything, use this exact. If you use GL5 in the back, it's too corrosive for the differential and your differential won't last long. Now we're getting ready to fill it back up. Look how beautiful and clear this fluid is compared to what we just took out of there. So it was definitely time to change that. Something very important to note for the rear differential, when you take the plug off, it's not gonna drip. Basically, it's kind of sitting in like a bowl. So you're gonna have to take that syringe and take all that liquid out. Another thing, when you're filling it back up, it's gonna take, like I said, about 900 milliliters. So when it starts dripping, you're good to pretty much cut it off and go ahead and seal it up. I went ahead and filled it, whatever I had on there, and then just let it drip for a little bit and then just put the plug on there. All right guys, so it's getting dark and I have yet to go home, so I'm gonna cut it off right here. The next thing I'm gonna do is gonna be the transfer case and the front differential. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I got the bottom cover installed back on the car. There she is. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to pull the car out of here. I'm going to load up all my tools and try to clean up a little bit because I made kind of a mess. I will release part 2 later, and that will be the front differential. Transfer case looks a little tricky, so I'm going to do a little bit more research before I try to tackle that. So stick around.